What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I'm Antoine.
And I'm still James.
And we are going to do some trailer reactions. Super Bowl had a couple trailers. They didn't get crazy with it. I just seen a few. But one I saw was that they got a Lord of the Rings series. I think it's coming on. Is it coming on Paramount Plus?
I believe so.
It's one of the streaming
Yeah.
services.
It's called The Rings of Power.
Yeah, The Rings of Power. I don't know. Is this like a prequel?
Effectively.
Which we already did The Hobbit, though.
Well, no, so that's why this is called The Rings of Power, because there's
This is where the ring comes from.
that opening, the poem that Lord of the Rings opens up with details that there were all these different rings of power.
Right.
And Sauron made his because he didn't get one. But yeah, so the dwarves got some rings, the humans got some rings. And
So this
the
is
elves
way before.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about Lord of the Rings mythos. I'm sure people will tell me, but I'm just a fan. I like the movies. I didn't read the books, so don't come in here. Well, you don't know this, you don't know that. I'm not saying I know this, I know that. I just watched it. I was entertained. It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
That's as far as I go.
I read quite a few of the books. I never finished the Silmarillion, so don't come after me for the stuff I get wrong. That book was dry. That book was dry.
And we need to talk about, not today, but we need to talk about this whole, it's a thin line between what they make, the source material, and what they show on screen. Sometimes you got to give them leeway.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to give them a little leeway on this stuff. Now, that's not just like that. That's not, okay,
Give them the breathing room to make a thing.
Yeah, I know, God. So anyway, we're going to watch Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power trailer and see what it do. So, Lord of the Rings, Ring of Power.
Haven't you ever wondered what else is out there?
Man, it looks beautiful.
There's wonders in this world beyond our wandering. I can feel it.
See, all the money went on the sets because the costume was cheap. So is it two separate ones?
Yeah. So this is the first trailer that they put out, I think, or this teaser. This is actually cool. Most of
that wasn't.
This is
Three rings for the elven kings under the sky. 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone. 9 for mortal men doomed to die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie.
So they actually, there's some digital effect on the end shot there and on the water. But that's they actually carved all that into a piece of wood, poured molten metal into it, and just did a pass with a automated rig to film that in slow motion.
That is nice that you know that. But who gives a it's like they did all that when
Nobody asked.
They could have done it. They could have done that on a computer in what, 5 minutes.
I mean, yeah, but it looks cool, But yes,
I mean, respect for the practical.
But so that's the poem in question where they talk about the different rings of power. That's what the show's supposed to be about, is all of these different rings of power and how they all came to be and get to who they got to.
I got that. And that's, that's cool. I didn't know nothing about Lord of the Rings mythos before the movies. So I just came. I remember seeing the Hobbit animated, the animated Hobbit on TV way back in the day, and I didn't know what that was. I just saw dang, they actually killing people and you know, that's when
Yeah.
I was a kid. And I wasn't introduced to anime at that time.
Right.
I'm a big anime fan, but before that, that's before I saw Akira and all that. So I saw, you know, Hobbit. It was on TV, and I just couldn't believe that they was like had blood and
By
killing.
the time I saw The Hobbit, I'd already seen like Watership Down and stuff like that. So I was ready for it. So,
but yeah. So I went to see all the Lord of the Rings, not knowing nothing. I went in just blind, and then you know I enjoyed it. You know, they was fun movies or whatever, but the way the people get into the world of this stuff is a bit scary.
I think it's so interesting because it's very it's actually different from the way people get into comic books, where you do have those people like they know every single issue, every event that's ever happened, but it's like they still enjoy the overarching idea of the thing.
Yeah.
Whereas people that are super into stuff like Lord of the Rings, it seems like they're like, no, you don't understand. It was in the Third Age that this happened. It wasn't in the Fourth. And I'm like, bro.
Well, back in the day, if you was a comic book fan, you was just lucky to get any adaptation on the big screen.
Yeah.
So you kind of took what you got.
Yeah.
So you didn't have room to complain.
Well, because I feel
now
like
you can, but back then you couldn't.
there's a bit of an elitist ideal that comes with book nerds that comic book nerds don't really have.
Yeah.
Like, there's
it's
a
starting to
different-
creep in there though,
Yeah.
because
they
need everything just like
yeah.
it is.
There was always like the actually guys, and they were like broad. Most of them were broad spectrum. Actually,
Right. That used to be the minority. Now it's
now
starting to be the
not-
majority.
but like Lord of the Rings fans have, for as long as I've been alive, have been like that.
Yeah. So right, and I respect it, but I'm just saying to people that's hardcore, that's mad that whatever's not perfect or whatever.
Yeah.
Just let me enjoy it because I'm a fan I'm a casual fan and just because I'm not big on fantasy to begin with, but I can enjoy something good. I like The Witcher, so I can if I sit down and watching it's good, I can enjoy it. But please don't start talking about it's just trash just because something is not the
Like,
same.
I'll also say, as a fan of things, coming and trashing every adaptation just because it's not exactly what you were looking for is not going to get the adaptation you're looking for made.
No. Now, before we wrap up quickly, I just heard that it was a complaint that a dwarf. Explain that whole situation just real quick.
They on social media, they put out all of these different posters for the show.
Yeah.
And so they let you get a good look at a lot of their characters, right? And so apparently one of the characters is this dwarf woman, is a black dwarf woman with no beard. And apparently in Lord of the Rings, the
women have beards.
The women have beards. And
somebody married her.
I mean, dwarves love their women to have beards. They like, but that's their culture. So, like,
the actress probably said, "Hell no, I ain't doing that."
But it's like it's one of those things where I'm like, I get that in the books it's this way, because in the books the books don't focus on it. It's
maybe somebody shaved her beard,
which I believe is a sign of shame for dwarves.
That's what I'm saying. She feels shame.
But
like we all saying like you beautiful, and she be like, oh,
but yeah,
idiots.
like, I think there's a line.
I don't have my beard.
I think there's a line in one of the Lord of the Rings movies where like the dwarf Gimli is like complaining about how smooth and soft elf women are. Like what's like how do you like how can you be attracted to a woman who doesn't have anything for you to hold on to?
You know what? Did all that did most of the mythos on having dwarves and elves and all that
Tolkien
stuff
influenced a lot of.
That's what I'm saying, because everyone got the same things. You got elves, dwarves, and hobbits or little people, whatever.
Well, like I think specifically, not necessarily halflings in general, but I think like hobbits are purely an invention of Tolkien.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, a series coming on Amazon Prime September 2nd. We gotta check it out. We'll get the review up for y'all. But as of right now, We're going to be out of here, so please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you get alerts every time we post new videos or we live stream.
And if you like what you've seen here today, hit that thumbs up. And please don't bother getting in the comments telling us what we got wrong about this.
Well, I said, I put a disclaimer. I don't, I'm just a casual.
That don't never do nothing.
That
don't never do
But
nothing.
you know what? If they just tell me, if somebody say, hey, this is this. This is actually this is actually that. I like those comments.
Like those are
I always
the best
get the comments of the
like,
mad people that's just on some bull crap.
The best comments are the ones like, I see you didn't know about this. Well, it's actually like this, and you can find out more about it here.
And I tell them thanks for the education. Yeah. Now I know that.
Like some of the comments are like, oh, you should read this comic because that's where this comes from.
Right.
Cool.
Those are good comments.
I can't believe that you would even say such as.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We out of here.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.